That took much longer than it needed to take. Also, I got a haircut and I shaved today. Hello, welcome to the Wild Review on the Wild Reviewer. Welcome to night 10 of 31 Wild Halloween Review Nights. Today, we're going to talk about a movie that is a little creepy. It's a little kooky. And I'm blanking on the rest of the theme song that describes these characters. This is the Addams Family. Released in 1991, based on the popular cartoon by Charles Addams and the 1964 TV series, we're introduced to the Addams Family and their upside-down world. The Addams are a family of messed up, psychedelic individuals. There's the father, Gomez, played by Raul Julia, and the mother, Morticia, played by Angelica Hudson. Then there's their children, Pugsley and Wednesday, who are always up to some sort of trouble, and their Grandmama Addams, who has a very witch-like appearance and persona to herself. They also have a Frankenstein's monster-like butler named Lurch. Also in the family is Gomez's brother, Fester, played by Christopher Lloyd, but it seems that in this film he's been missing for 25 years. Because of his disappearance, the Addams accountant and his loan shark plan on taking all the family's money and riches. The only way to get fully into the vault where all these fortunes are, however, is if the loan shark's son, who shares a similar resemblance to Uncle Fester, can convince the family that he's returned after he's been missing for 25 years. I'm gonna be basically honest and say I've never seen anything about the Addams Family before this movie. I knew they were a thing. I've just never been exposed to them like I have when seeing this film. I want to say though the only reference to them that I have memory of before seeing this film is an M&M commercial. I have this vivid memory of the M&M characters in the same roles as the Addams Family and doing the snaps along with the theme song. I've also been aware of the character Cousin It, who's basically like a hairy monster kind of character. That's the thing also, if you've never seen the Addams Family before, they're not monsters, and it took me a long time to kind of realize that. Now you can mistake them for monsters. I mean, I described Lurch as the Frankenstein's monster. He's got kind of a similar look to the Frankenstein monster. But that's the whole thing you need to understand with these characters, is that they are not monsters, they're just really gothic, morbid individuals that are kind of in an upside-down world. And that's the one thing I want to kind of touch upon first about these characters. Their way of living is just so bizarre that it's really interesting. But you can get confused. When you are dealing with characters who kind of do things the opposite, there's the question of, well, where's the fine line with that logic? You know, what is truly opposite to them? You know, because you have Pugsley and Wednesday, the games that they play basically involve murdering each other. I mean, at one point, Wednesday hooks Pugsley up to the electric chair, and she's like, let's play the game, Is There a God? And it's essentially trying to figure out if there is in fact a God. Now, of course, we don't see these games being played. We don't see these two children actually hurting themselves, but it's just the setups that make you wonder, when does it go too far with these characters? And how does their logic truly work? Because it seems that death, pain, suffering, all that stuff to them is happiness. That's how they would describe being happy, enjoying themselves, seeing and hearing and feeling pain. You know, it's the complete opposite. It's upside down for them. You have certain situations in this film where things that should be bad for them are good, and that good things are bad to them. But sometimes the good things are good for them and the bad things are bad for them. So I get confused when they do stories like this. If they're truly happy, what are they happy about? I'm confusing myself. I like the film. Being the first actual Addams Family property thing that I've seen, I found a lot of enjoyment out of it. It had me laughing at times. I enjoyed seeing how their world works. Again, with Pugsley and Wednesday's games, Wednesday is just a diabolical little thing, isn't she? The actors in this film, what they bring to the characters is amazing. They make me believe that these kind of people do exist. I can see that each one of them are having fun with the roles that they're playing. I really enjoyed it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my favorite things to watch around Halloween. Oddly enough, there is a little bit of Halloween in this film. The end of the movie takes place on Halloween, but the beginning of the film also takes place at Christmas. What I instantly love about that opening with the Christmas carols, I mean, it does kind of bug me a little that the carolers are singing away from the door, like their house is behind the carolers. So imagine the wall is the house and I'm the caroler, I'm singing towards the camera. Usually carolers sing at the door, they don't sing away from the door. That's my only bug with that scene, but we pan up from the caroler singing and we see the family on the roof, and Lurch is about to pour some sort of substance on them. I want to say it's acid, I don't know what it is, but it's steaming. So that's fun. I really like seeing Raul Julia in the role of Gomez. Because I've seen this adaptation of the Addams Family so many times along with its sequel, which we'll talk about, these faces have imprinted themselves in my head whenever I think of the Addams Family now. I can't just think of Gomez as somebody else. I can only think of him as Julia in the role. I can't think of anybody else as Uncle Fester. I can only see him as Christopher Lloyd, who also did a really great job. In this film, Uncle Fester, since we're on the topic of Christopher Lloyd, Fester is kind of the main thing in this film that's keeping the story going. It revolves around him missing for 25 years, and then he comes back. So it's really confusing. If you were like me who had never seen anything Addams Family related, this could be a little confusing, and I was a little caught off when I first saw this. I had to see it multiple times to really understand it. Uncle Fester went to the Bermuda Triangle, lost his memory, and then ended up thinking he was the son of the woman that the accountant was partnered up with to get the money from the Addams, and they could take the house. So Uncle Fester, who had amnesia, pretended to be Uncle Fester to get closer with the Addams family and learn their secrets and learn how to get into the vault to get the money. And then turns out he actually was Uncle Fester. I mean, thinking about it now, that is a very Addams Family thing that could happen. Like, I could see it. The one scene I really enjoy is the mamushka dance, if that's how you say it, mamushka. I like that scene. I like seeing everybody having fun. I don't know, I enjoy watching that scene. Is it my favorite scene? No, because my favorite scene in this film is the goddamn school scene with the play with Pugsley and Wednesday on stage having a sword fight, and Wednesday gets cut and blood goes everywhere on the audience, and everybody's just in awe, like, what the hell is happening? And the family is just in the row, and they're so proud of their children. Meanwhile, they've probably just scarred everybody else in the audience. It's so great. It's really cool. I like watching this film. Like I said, it's become a Halloween tradition now. It's weird to think, like, a few years ago, I never really watched any major things for Halloween, and it was only like a few years ago, I think, when Freeform really started their Halloween marathon, because, I don't know how long they've had their 31 Nights of Halloween marathon. I mean, at first it was only 13, and then it became 31 because it got a really big reception. Now I'm watching Hotel Transylvania and the Addams Family films. I've always watched Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's like now every Halloween I'm making it a point to watch all these films just because of how great they are. And I kind of have a new list now because I'm doing this series. I'm watching things I've never seen before, like the Universal stuff, and I've seen Corpse Bride, and Fun Size I've seen, but I've seen Corpse Bride. Yeah, so Addams Family was really good. I really enjoyed it. I guess it is somewhat bad that before this I really didn't do any research to compare it to the TV series. The only thing I do know that is different from the movie, from the TV series, or the cartoon, is that they had a pet lion. I do recall in this film there being a tombstone of the lion in their yard. They have these statues of all the family members that have since passed away, which this kind of goes back to their whole logic of what is good and what is bad. I mean, these people are actually dead, so you know what? I shouldn't really think too much into it. Yeah, that's Addams Family. But that's not it for the Addams Family, because I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm especially going to say it again because there's a very good chance that what I said earlier could be cut out. There is a sequel to the Addams Family. It is the Addams Family Values film, and that will be talked about tomorrow. So come back tomorrow and we'll be discussing the sequel to the Addams Family. Boy, do I got a lot to say about this one. Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing.